So the classification of the elements. So the arranging of the elements into the different groups on the basis of the similarities in the properties. So there are so many elements are present in the nature. So each element is having a different characteristics. So based on their properties, similar in the properties, we have arranged in the periodic table. So the classification of the similar elements into the groups. So if the we have made the group by how many electrons are arranged in the outermost shell. So based on that, we have classified into the groups. So sodium is having one electron, lithium is having one electron in the outermost shell. So we have placed the lithium, sodium and all in the same group. Magnesium is having a two electrons in the outermost shell. Beryllium is having a two electrons in the outermost shell. So we have arranged those are all in the second group. So the group number will tell you how many number of electrons are there in the outermost shell. So as for now, there are 114 elements or we know about that. So out of this, we are having 92 or the natural elements. Then from 93 onwards, it's a man-made elements because the proton numbers and the neutron numbers makes the nucleus it's very high. So it is not occur in the nature. So we call it as a artificial elements. The early attempts to classification of the elements. So in earlier days, they have found out the so many elements, sodium, chlorine, fluorine, hydrogen and all. So they don't know where we have to classify this. So they had a basic problem that how to arrange these elements. So they have made the so many hidden trials in that. So in this, the earliest attempt to classify the elements was grouping. So how they have made the grouping is one is the metals and the non-metals. So the metals and all they have classified in one group, the non-metals and all they have classified in the another group. But the defect in this classification has there is a no place for the metalloids. So what is meant by metalloids? So it's having a character of both metals and the non-metals. So they have made the two groups. They don't know where they have to place this metalloids. So which were discovered the later. So the next attempt is that Dobereiner. So this is the another one. Dobereiner's triads. Dobereiner classified elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses into the groups of the three elements called the triads. Okay, so what he has done is, okay, yeah, sorry. So Dobereiner's triads. So Dobereiner classified elements in the increasing order of the atomic masses. So what is that atomic masses? Atomic masses is nothing but the, it's having protons and the neutrons. So the combination of the protons and the neutrons. So they have arranged in the order of the atomic mass numbers. So in the classified into the groups of the three elements, so lithium, sodium, potassium. So what they have done over here is, so the lithium is 6.9 and the potassium is 39. So what they have done is, so they have made the average. So once they have made the average, they'll get the 23. So they thought that, okay, the sodium will be present in between. So this calcium is 40.1 and barium is 137.3. If these two elements, if we are getting the average, we'll get 88.7. So it's near to that the strontium we are having. So they placed the strontium in between the calcium and the barium. So for the chlorine it is 35.5 and the iodine is 126.9. So both of them 35.5 plus 126.9 they have made the average. They are having getting the 81.2. So near to that is bromine is having 79.9. So they have placed the bromine in between the chlorine and the iodine. But this is not suited for all the elements. So this is what the problem they have faced. This is applicable for only these three groups. So in each triad, the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the average atomic mass of the other two elements. But still they have made the find out some of the difficulties in this. So they think that, okay, so this is not the way we have to arrange the elements in the order. The next one is Newland's octaves. So what is meant by the octaves? Octaves is nothing but the notes of the music. So now we are having a Sari Gama Pada Nisa. So there are eights for us. So here also they have done the same thing. Sari Gama Pada Nisa. So they have arranged the elements in the order. So Newland classified the elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses into the group of 8 elements called the octaves. So hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. So in that time, they don't know about that. Actually, after fluorine, they have to get the neon. So in that time, the neon was not discovered. So they have even helium is also not discovered. There is a no noble gases they have not discovered. So they have arranged like in this order. So the note of music. So they have arranged just like that, like increasing the atomic mass, increasing atomic masses. So there were the similar properties. So what is the thing is, so sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. So the first one and the last one swaras are the same. Here also they thought that, so the hydrogen and the, but here they have faced the problem. Fluorine and chlorine resembles the same property, but the cobalt and the nickel, this one, it's not having a same property with the fluorine and the chlorine. Again, here also they have faced the same problem. So lithium, sodium, potassium or both three are having the same properties, but the copper. So copper is not having the same property resembles to this. Then here, beryllium, calcium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium. So the zinc. So the zinc is not following the same property of these things. So in this one, they have the defect of this classification is, so the all the known elements they have whatever they have known, whatever in that period they have discovered, they have put like this. But there are some of the elements which they have missed it actually. There was no noble gases they have not yet discovered, and some of the elements in between, say for example the titanium and all, they have not discovered. So they don't know how to arrange these elements. So some of the elements have the different properties. So they have made the fluorine, chlorine, bromine. So these three are having the same characteristics. These are all the halogens. And also these are all the non-metals. But the cobalt and the nickel or the metals, that is the transition metals, they can able to change their oxidation states. But they have placed these elements in the non-metal, this one. But this is not following their order. Iron is having a properties similar to that of the cobalt and the nickel. So the iron they have placed over here, but the iron, cobalt, nickel are having the same kind of the properties. But it is not matching with the above one, fluorine and chlorine. So these are all the defects they have noted in the Newlands octave. So this is also failed.